between BacT and TaToH. The score, as you can see on your screens at the very top, is 1-0 to BacT after winning that first game on El Dorado, which was awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I'm so happy. I'm so excited. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this is going to go down as we go to game 2 now, which is TaToH's home map, and he has chosen to play on Team Islands. Team Islands is an awesome water map. It's not just like it's not like islands. It's not like archipelago. It's so much more. It's we'll talk about that in a moment. For those of you wondering why the game has stopped, there was a little bit of a pause, and we are waiting for the players. I don't know who we're exactly waiting for. One of them has paused, and I'm sure they will unpause in a moment. But let's introduce the players and talk about what's going down. So up to the north of the map, in the orange, the favorite to win this series is BacT, and he has chosen to play as the Vikings. Are we surprised at that choice? Well, no. The Vikings, of course, are arguably and pretty much conclusively the best civ to play on this map, since it is a predominantly water map. Down to the south of the map, in the red this time, choosing to play in the red and not the grey, we have TaToH, and he's playing as the Vikings as well. His home map. And the reason why I think that Team Islands is an awesome map is because, well, it's the land mass is much larger. The land mass means that landing your opponent is much more doable. It means that the water, although it's very important, can sometimes play a secondary role. And I remember seeing a game not too long ago on Team Islands. It was between two Chinese players, and both of them landed each other in the fuselage at the same time. It was kind of awesome and really cool. So, Titties, your comments are not welcome here. No, I'm kidding. I see your point. Like, Vikings on a water map can be considered boring. Okay. Well, don't worry about that. Don't ignore everything I just said. TaToH is restarting this game. He wants to restart, which is totally acceptable. He's called it before the 5-minute mark. And so this is going to be a restart from TaToH. And actually, speaking of that, I think it's understandable. His gold is crap, and his position on the map is also pretty bad. So for TaToH to call a restart here, completely understandable. But you have to bear in mind, he can only call a restart once per set. So he has used his restart now, and we will go to, in just a second, we'll go to game number 2 once again. These guys now restarting, and they will play and rehost the game. So in between games then, I want to say a very big thank you to searchenginerevs.com, and all the information about them is below the stream. They've actually sponsored this event for $1,000, which is insane, and I will talk about more about that later, I guess, but big thank you to them. And also, of course, Vubly for giving us the platform to play these games on, or to watch these games on. The restart was called because TaToH wasn't happy with his map, and each player is allowed to restart once per set of games. So if there's a bad map for TaToH this time around, he can't call a restart. He has to suck it up and deal with it. But to be fair, I don't think he'll get a worse map than what he just had. The gold for TaToH wasn't technically bugged, since it had enough showing faces, but it was bad enough for TaToH to want to restart that game, and I don't blame him. I think anyone would blame him for that choice there. Alright, well, they're about restarted anyway, just like less than 20 seconds now, and the next game, or game number 2, will come up once again. Here we go. Alright then, so welcome back guys, once again, to the game number 2 in the Empire Collective Cup Round 1, a Platinum League between BacT and TaToH. And now, just to confuse us, because for those of you watching on YouTube, this game was restarted last time around. This is the second try at game number 2. BacT is now in the south of the map, and last time he was in the north of the map, so it's going to confuse me a little bit, and hopefully I don't forget. But thankfully, they are playing as the same colours. Imagine if they swapped colours as well. That would just be a mindfuck. But down to the south of the map, in the orange, we have BacT playing as the Vikings. And up to the north of the map, in the red, we have TaToH playing as the Vikings as well. And for the sake of those on YouTube who didn't hear the spiel at the start of the game about what is what, we'll repeat it. Basically, this is TaToH's home map now for game number 2. Since he lost the first game, he gets to choose the map in the second one. And he has, of course, chosen to play as the Vikings. Both of them have, which is completely understandable, given that this is a pure water map. TaToH's gold this time does look a lot better. If you have a look at that, it's certainly not bugged or covered by any of the trees, so he's going to be definitely going to be a lot happier about it. It's not perfect, you know, it's not a perfect gold because it's very close to the water, which means BacT could, if he wins the water, hit this gold from that shoreline, and that could obviously cause TaToH some problems. But he does have second and third gold here, which unfortunately are kind of close to the water as well. But yeah, that's the reason why TaToH chose to restart the game last time around. His gold was halfway inside of a forest, and nobody wants to have to cut their gold out of a forest before taking it. So with Team Islands then, it's an awesome map. It's one of my favorite water maps, and I'm really, really happy that he's chosen this map as his home map, because it's just got so much more possibilities to it. There's so much more you can do on Team Islands. You're not forced to take the standard metagame route of going for a pure Grush. Now, it's likely that both of these guys will do a pure Grush and start with that, but it is also possible for them to break the meta, as Resonance 22 would say, and do something a little bit different as well. So we'll keep our eyes peeled on a potential landing this game. For now, though, it's all about a really efficient and a really strong start to the game. And you can see TaToH now going to throw his dock up on the front of the map. And more often than not, it's common to see a forward dock. And in fact, both of them here, BacT and TaToH, building that forward dock. And even though in this situation, BacT's TC is at the back of the map or closer to the back of the map, he's still docking on the front anyway, even though the water's a little further away. And the reason for that, of course, is because if you dock at the back, then your opponent will get map control a lot easier. He's going to be able to hold the center of the map a lot better. At the moment, though, the fish don't look particularly strong for either of them. In fact, the center fish here is kind of nasty. TaToH's docked quite far away from any fish. It's like an area of the map where there's no life exists apart from the little crappy tiddlers. Here we go. See if we can just can we get out of that? Oh, no, there's some fish here. I was trying to just like get a part of the map where there's no life whatsoever. But yes, obviously not great fish for him. And BacT, rather unfortunately for TaToH, a little better fishing on the right-hand side. But it's not going to be too much of a problem. Obviously, TaToH will have to go further with his fishing ships here. He's certainly going to feel a little bit mugged off about the situation. And that could certainly throw his build off a little bit. It's certainly going to hurt his feudal age food income. But for now, obviously, like I said, it's all about being very efficient. And not just with the fish, although being efficient with the fish is very important, but also in taking your boar with your scout. And you notice both players use their scout cavalry to take their boar. Saves on villager time, makes them a little faster up to the feudal age. And TaToH's still scouting the water for fish here. He's thinking, what the hell's going on? There's no damn fish in this lake. What is this? And he's going to resign himself to taking the shore fish, which is kind of crappy because fishing ships gather incredibly slowly from shore fish. If you just look at TaToH's fishing ship there, gathering fish very slowly. And then you look at BacT's fishing ships here on the water, and you see they're gathering food a lot faster. It's a difference that's going to add up a lot over time. And right now, BacT a little faster up to the feudal age, and TaToH is just going to go up in a second. Oh no! Oh, TaToH, he doesn't quite have enough food. This is bad news. It's going to delay his feudal time by a few seconds. And now he is up over 30 seconds, or exactly 30 seconds later. Honestly, in this situation, TaToH's not looking too strong. And BacT has, at this stage, a lot of advantages. Not only is he slightly faster to the feudal age, he's got better fish. And the reason why I said a minute ago that TaToH is going to he's going to struggle in the feudal age, potentially, for food, is because if you have a look at his eco now, no food income from these villagers. They're all going over to wood, they're all going over to gold. And that's basically what they do in this kind of build order. You have to make sure you get all your villagers out to wood and gold, and then you're relying on the fishing ships to get your food. Whereas if he's taking the shorefish, it's not going to be ticking over as nicely, and that's going to hurt him. But he will build a second dock, he will have a third dock coming up, and as such, he should be able to fish more safely. But he's also slower to the feudal age, which means that Bagiofro will get the first galley out. He will be able to start hitting these fishing ships sooner, perhaps. Pretty unfortunate stuff from TaToH. Someone said Bagiofro's mining camp is glitched. It's not, it's just on a hill. It's really, yeah, the hills in this game, don't even get me started. It's so bad sometimes. Like, players, it looks like they've got a full wall, and it actually, there's a hill there that you can't see, and then the villagers end up, or the units end up going through the hole in the wall, even though it looks closed. It absolutely messes with so many players when that happens. There's always a hole. That's kind of where that saying comes from, you know? So TaToH's going to have to do some real magic on the water here if he wants to get a win. He's behind in ships already. He's 2 down. TaToH, of course, going to be able to keep his fishing ships out of harm for a while as he brings out his second 2 galleys. And the fourth dock, coming up. I need to learn to count. But 3 docks for BacT, 4th coming up for TaToH. We will see a 4th dock for BacT coming up, and you know what? I'm not particularly liking this dock right now. The villager getting pushed away, of course, because well, Bagiofro is looking strong and dominant on the water. But I think TaToH will get that 4th dock sooner. He will be able to get production going pretty quickly. But BacT is looking strong right now, and if Bagiofro keeps this up, then TaToH is going to be forced into a very awkward position where he's going to have to either try and fast castle and get ahead economically, or maybe he'll even try and land, but he's going to lose his fishing ships, and this is like the worst thing that can happen at this stage of the game. Not only is he losing map control, he's losing his ability to fight this rush, but he's lost 2 fishing ships as well, and that's really going to hurt his food income. TaToH's TC, well, it's not idle, but it might be in a second. He's got 6 food missing from 50, and he needs 50 to build another villager, and there you go. The TC is sat idle now, and Bagiofro's TC is ticking away as he takes bearings as his fishing ships bring in that food. And TaToH, I think on this right side, he was perhaps looking for a fishing ship to kill, but he knows it's going wrong. He knows it's going very wrong at the moment. With that 4th dock, though, he might be able to bring it back in terms of numbers, since Bagiofro does not have his 4th dock just yet. So TaToH at the moment 2 galleys behind, but with another dock out, maybe he'll be able to find something and pull it back a little bit. But with his TC sitting idle, it's going to get nasty. It depends how long it's idle for, I guess, and with villagers now going over to berries and with 3 on the farms, it's not so bad. But look at Bagiofro's TC. There's no farms around it. And farms cost a lot of wood, 60 wood. So, you know, if you're forced into a position where you're making farms, 60 wood each, when you need to build galleys, 90 wood each, it's not very good for your economy. And TaToH here, at least now going to be able to keep his villagers coming out. At the moment, Bagiofro with 1 villager advantage. TaToH coming in at the back, though, and yes, he's going to find a fishing ship. Oh, no, he's not. Okay, I was going to say he was going to find one, but he backed out because, well, he is outnumbered. He doesn't want to take that fight at the moment. Maybe what he's going to try and do is split Bagiofro up, trying to keep a few galleys away from the main army, try and force them into a position where he can take advantage of numbers, maybe into a position where TaToH can fight and get a good fight, because he needs a good fight right now. If he doesn't get a good fight, if he loses the first galley war, then it's, not only is it gone from bad, but it's going to go to worse, and Bagiofro at the moment with a fantastic advantage, and doing fletching now on Bagiofro's galleys is going to mean that not only has he got a range advantage, he's got an attack advantage, he's got a galley advantage, and TaToH's looking very, very shaky. He's looking like he's right on the ropes at the moment, and that is pretty scary for TaToH. Someone asked earlier, what's the record for live viewers on a stream? I try and look at the chat more when I'm streaming casual games. I'm pretty bad at it, to be honest with you, but I remember seeing that and I've scrolled up to check it out. I think we had 2,600 once on a really heavily promoted game, which was awesome, and I'd love to see if we can like kind of beat that on this tournament. That would be insane. TaToH right now then, He's got to have some kind of a game plan. And even though he's still behind in docks, TaToH is, well, he's been up on 4 docks for a while. BacT only just getting his 4th dock up. It's taken him a long while. It's taken him a long while to get that up, but he's still winning the water, so it doesn't really matter. In fact, TaToH's going to lose a dock now. He might even lose another dock, in which case TaToH will be down to just 3 and then down to 2. And when you start losing your docks, that's even more of a situation where you've got to keep those docks up. You've got to be able to rebuild them, and that costs you yet more wood. So TaToH's plan, what's it going to be? Well, you know, in a lot of situations where players losing the water like this, what they'll try and do is they'll try and outboom their opponent. They'll try and get ahead economically and then catch up to them in on the water. So TaToH at the moment, he's kind of giving up the water control. He's saying to BacT, yeah, you can have my docks, you can do that. You keep making galleys, because right now, what TaToH wants to do is get his food economy going a little stronger. He wants to make sure he can get to the castle age in a good time. But BacT is still going to beat him to it. And in this situation, just look at this. BacT with only 3 farms right now. He's taken his berries, but these fishing ships on the water have certainly contributed a lot to his food income. And if we have a quick look at the amount of food gathered, or I would, but I can't bring the graph up. There we go. You can see that BacT still has more food gathered, even though TaToH has more farms, which is interesting. And it's all just because, in my opinion, of those fishing ships. We'll see what happens here. TaToH could find a villager. He's not patrolling though. Oh, no, he's watching. He's watching. Down she goes. Oh, no way. Away with 4 health. You're kidding me. TaToH's not getting any breaks this game. BacT, so lucky. So lucky. But TaToH is up to the castle age. He is a little bit faster, actually. I didn't notice that. I thought that BacT would have gone up sooner. But TaToH will be up slightly faster. Problem is it gonna be enough? Starting to think that maybe it won't be. He's only 2 villages ahead. It's not a huge amount. And he is going to have to rebuild on the water now, which is going to be kind of costly. TaToH back at home, still making quite a lot of farms, still keeping that food income coming in. And with this much wood, without building any more docks, seemingly, he might just try and build a 2nd and 3rd TC pretty quickly. He might try for a landing as well. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. And obviously, BacT are going to be well aware that a landing at this stage could be a possibility. And for that reason, he's built his houses and he's built outposts around the edge to keep an eye on the water. If we have a look at BacT's point of view, he can see a lot, and he's going to have a really good idea for landings coming in because he's got pretty good visibility, especially, of course, on the front. But TaToH's up to castle now. I'm expecting we'll see War Galley coming out because he has still got a lot of boats, but whoa, there's the landing. Wow, he slipped that past me. And there's those villagers going over there. So what we'll do for a moment, we'll look at BacT's point of view. Because, well, TaToH's building it inside of his line of sight. TaToH is going to build the monastery, but BacT is going to see it. Pardon me. But BacT now, perhaps not noticing? I'm sure he has noticed. He's pulling villagers away. And now, of course, going to react to that. A barracks coming out. A stable coming out. 2 stables coming out. BacT are probably going to go for some light cavalry. He's throwing up a siege workshop. And now it's a full-on reaction to this landing at the back. TaToH doing what TaToH knows is one of his only real options. His option A was to outboom, option B was to land, and he's gone for option B. And now, Monk coming out, a monastery, producing that, of course, a siege workshop coming up, and we'll see a mangonel coming out as well. So Monk mangonel combo is very strong, it's very potent, but he didn't get the jump on BacT. He didn't get the surprise attack that could have enabled him to do an insane amount of damage. But what has happened instead is he's going to get this landing down, but BacT is not going to be BacT will be in a position where he's more likely to be able to defend it. At the back of the map, BacT are bringing the war galleys over, and if TaToH's not careful, he could lose this from the water anyway. BacT gets Bodkin arrow. I mean, there's no doubt he's going to be able to hit these buildings here. Might even find these units in the back of the map, in which case, well, it's just toast. They're all toast. But then comes BacT now with some light cavalry, and TaToH trying to wall those villagers in. The light cavalry going to come in comfortably, take down the 2 monks. They might even take down the mangonel from TaToH here. And although TaToH will kill a villager or 2 from BacT, he's going to take down the mangonel as well. Great play, managing to take down quite a lot of stuff with that single mangonel while it was still alive. He has lost it to the scouts, and TaToH was too slow to get his barracks up and get those spearmen out. I say TaToH, you say TaToH. I say potato, you say potato. Honestly, to me, it's always been TaToH. I know it's not actually TaToH, it's TaToH, or yeah, TaToH, isn't it? It's TaToH to me, because TaToH is a potato, and that's what TaToH is. Hopefully he doesn't take offense to that. I'm not literally calling him potato. That would be mean. It's not in my blood. So anyway, back at home, TaToH with 3 TCs up and running. He's trying to boom up pretty comfortably there. And, well, BacT is on the 2, but since he's on 2 TCs, he might be able to muster some more resources into making military to defend from this. And at the moment, he's going to go ahead and try and actually wall this monastery up. If he succeeds in that, then TaToH's monastery is not going to be able to produce any more monks. He's not going to be able to put it to much use at all. BacT even making some cavalry archers, which I found absolutely absurd. Cavalry archers? Really? But why not, I guess? I mean, making a statement. It's like, I could afford this. Look at me. I'm so rich right now. Now, obviously he's not, but interesting. Honestly, I don't really know why he's particularly gone for cavalry archers. If I had to guess at that, it would probably be because he doesn't have to upgrade archers into crossbows. He can just make cavalry archers and they're naturally very strong. They don't need an upgrade. Whereas if he was to make some archers, yeah, he would have to go ahead and upgrade them to crossbow. But this is fantastic from BacT. He's walled up this siege workshop right now, and what's TaToH got in here? He has got a mangonel, but a mangonel on its own is not going to be much good. Not much good at all. So what's TaToH's plan now? Well, he is booming. He is out booming BacT. He's got 66 villagers versus BacT's 49. So he's pretty far ahead there. 16 villager advantage. And back at home, making some archery ranges, making some monasteries, maybe looking for another landing attempt. Who knows? But he is certainly in a position where if he booms well, he could retake the water. He's keeping his galleys alive, which is good. But it's safe to say that this is lost. This is really lost. The Vikings, I can't remember what changes they got in the balance patch, but this is not a balance patch game, so the tournament we initially planned to use the balance tweaker, but we decided to opt out of that in favor of getting more players, because I think a lot of players weren't too keen on the idea of playing a balance patch, and we decided instead to make the settings more likely to give us good games, rather than just having a balance patch in order to do that. But back at home, TaToH now doing ballistics, bodkin arrow, crossbow. So he's getting ready, it seems, with a landing attempt. He still has his dock here. He still has his transport ship out. But he doesn't have dry dock, careening even. So he can't take 10 units at a time. He will have to take 5 at a time. And to be honest with you, I don't see how landing 5 units across at this stage is going to have too much impact. Even if he kills a few villagers, BacT's economy is pretty far ahead. And although he's behind in a few villagers compared to TaToH, I still think that it's not going to be enough, and BacT will be able to react to that very quickly. In all honesty, I feel like TaToH's best opportunity now would be to try and outboom and get back on the water. And maybe he is going to try and do that. Maybe he will try that. And he is building docks at the north of the map. Is this the retake? Well, it could be. I mean, bodkin arrow, of course, ballistics, of course, going to affect those galleys. And now we see BacT with a transport as well. Will he send over these cavalry archers? Well, probably. And he's actually making some more cavalry archers as well, which is awesome, really, because in AOC, you don't see cavalry archers that often when it's not the Mongols or the Huns. And even when it's the Mongols, it might be a push. But there you go, TaToH, up to the Imperial Age. That's exactly what we wanted to see right now. He's going up, and he's got a good number of galleys under his belt still. He's going to be making more. He's going to be doing a war galley soon. He's going to get to the Imperial Age. He's going to go for galleon. Try and retake the water. And honestly, I think that's the best thing for him to do right now. These archers here, I don't think the plan was ever to land these across, actually. Because in order to do that, he'd have to get the transport ship around, he'd have to dodge and these war galleys in the middle. And of course, BacT has got the center control down pretty well. So in this situation, I think these guys are literally just for defensive purposes here. And with these two archery ranges up, if BacT does land across, he can react to that. And obviously we know he's landing across because there it comes. It's coming in on the left side. These 4 cavalry archers going to head over and see what they can find. Looking at BacT's point of view, he doesn't really have much of an idea about TaToH's island. He's obviously going to know he's here, but he's not landed in maybe the most optimal place. I don't know. TaToH should see this coming. If he doesn't see it coming now, he'll see it when they attack his villagers. But with the Imperial Age upgrade coming in any second, this could be pretty huge. TaToH, where's he going with this build though? I don't even know. He's going out on the left somewhere, I have no clue. Taking the relics, doing all that good stuff. And now losing some villagers in this wood line. He is still ahead in villager count, but BacT has closed that gap. He's just 2 villagers down now after that aggression. Oh my goodness me! I thought I saw 3 conversions then. It was just my eyes playing tricks on me. Orange and red looks a little close in color. But TaToH getting a conversion. The 4 crossbows able to repel this. And on the right side, War Galley War. But oh god! Oh, that's horrible! TaToH losing so many galleys right there. I have a feeling he was not patrolling that. Look at the way that BacT's galleys bunch up. I think TaToH didn't patrol. I think he just went ahead and sent them down there. As a result, he ran headlong into BacT's war galleys. He scrambled to get out of there, but he couldn't do it. And now BacT is not patrolling. Kind of funny. But TaToH here at the back with a lot of docks. I mean, that's like 7 or 8 docks right there, maybe more. He's got Galleon on the way. He's got Bracer on the way. This is his opportunity now to retake the water. And if TaToH can retake the water, then he can stop more landings. He can hold down the map control. He might even find some landings of his own. He's doing docks on the front. He's doing docks everywhere. He's just going all out onto this, into this. And with Galleon now done, with Bracer done, with Careening done for the +1 ship armor, he might be able to just take back some of that all-important map control and maybe get himself back into this game. The scores are very similar. But BacT on the left side going to find some villagers on this gold, and it's unfortunate for TaToH. Like I said earlier, his golds are all pretty close to the shore, but on this right side, he's managing to push BacT back. And rebuilding these galleons on the front will allow him to push and reinforce a little faster as well. So people in the chat, a lot of them cheering for TaToH now, as he makes his big comeback. Castle here as well, and that's actually a very good castle, a very well placed castle, because this gold, like I said, can be shot from the shoreline, so castle gonna protect from that, gonna keep it safe, because TaToH needs all the gold he can get. BacT though, would you look at those resources? He is insanely wealthy at the moment. A lot of gold, a lot of wood until he spent it a second ago. But BacT now into the Imperial Age as well. A lot of docks. So you're seeing a similar theme on both of these players, because I am. And we'll see Galleon, we'll see Bracer, we'll see all of that good stuff. Even chemistry now coming in for TaToH as well, and also for BacT. It's back to the back. Back to the back. Coming in, gonna end up fighting. I think, I mean, look at this. There's a bunch of villagers here just right for the picking. We'll find a couple, I'm sure. But BacT here losing, in a sense, the map control. And although, yeah, he's kind of, he's got a lot of boats on this left side, he will lose a few docks on the front. Not ideal, to say the least. And TaToH is looking pretty strong at the moment. Is he looking strong enough? Well, we'll have to find out. At the moment, he has got less galleons. He has only got 57 versus BacT 71. So the favor there is in BacT, but BacT had to sit back. He had to wait for Galleon to get done. And oh my god, BacT doesn't have Galleon. Why doesn't he have Galleon? Because he was probably researching it in one of these docks. And now, oh dear, the dock has gone down. And I should have checked the docks, to be honest with you, to see which one he was going in. But basically, the Galleon upgrade has been cancelled. TaToH took the dock away from him. He said, no, you will not have Galleon today. And now, he's looking great. He needs to keep pushing forwards here. Force a fight while he still can. And BacT still hasn't noticed, I don't think. Oh, yeah, there we go. He's doing Galleon in this dock now. 50%. That's delayed things. For TaToH. TaToH doing great. I mean, honestly, that was a nice snipe. I don't think BacT noticed that at all. Obviously, I didn't notice that. And TaToH's probably wondering, well, why the hell has he not got Galleon yet? He's doing just fine. He's doing just fine. This game could go pretty long at this rate. TaToH in a position where he could legitimately still win. Even after the failed feudal rush, even after the failed landing, he could still win this one. It's all really going to come down to the boats, and they've got 88 each. In fact, I think TaToH maybe with a couple more right now, and he's fleeing from this battle here. Because, well, you know, half his army's back here, another bit of it's over here on the left. He's very, very splintered up. His army is all over the place, and BacT is concentrated together, apart from a few boats at the very back. But you can see he's got a bigger mass here, and even it doesn't matter if TaToH has more units on the map. He's got 91 military. It doesn't matter, because if BacT has them all in one place, then TaToH can't fight it, and if he does fight it, he will lose it. And I think that's what we're going to see here if we're not careful. If TaToH's not careful, rather, we'll see TaToH losing this fight. But TaToH coming in on this right side, on the left side even, maybe going to find some docks, maybe going to find the reinforcements and cut them off. Either way, BacT is looking pretty good on this left side. He did spend a little while attacking this dock here, and not the actual enemy, although I suppose the docks are the enemy, but you know what I'm saying. Even upgrades on both. TaToH, a lot of bunched up ships, and it's really difficult in a lot of situations to see just how many there are there, because they generally bunch up together very, very closely. But yeah, TaToH, actually not doing too bad still. I mean, it looked like for a second there that BacT took a big military lead. But what's actually happening right now is TaToH's cutting off the reinforcements. He's stopping this military getting over there. He's taking down some of these docks. And BacT is going to have enough of that. He's going to try and attack. And you can see the real difference in kind of strategy here. TaToH's big grand strategy is to hit and run and try and attack with smaller armies, whereas BacT strat is to kind of keep everything all together and in one place, it would seem. TaToH, though, denying this castle on the shoreline. BacT are now bringing out the capped rams. And the reason for the rams, you might wonder, is because with rams, you can soak up a lot of arrow fire, and technically these guys fire arrows. I know it doesn't really look like that. It looks like they're firing flaming bolts of death. They are firing arrows, and rams absolutely soak that up. So TaToH, they're going to be forced to attack the ram because they will attack the closest unit to them if they are patrolled, which most armies will be. So rams can really be annoying to TaToH, but at this stage, TaToH's still holding on, and he's still doing just fine. The military count very, very close to both of them still. At the back of the map, though, TaToH gonna find... Oh, that's BacT even, my bad. I saw him attacking, I thought, it must be TaToH. No, he's attacking these buildings still. On the left side, TaToH still pushing in, and it looks like, yes, this time... wait, that's BacT again. Oh my god. You know what? It's time for team colors, guys, because it's getting a little difficult now to tell who's who, since there's so much orange and red. So, TaToH is in the red, BacT is now in the blue. We've replaced BacT's color. He is no longer orange, he is now blue. TaToH here, what's going on? I don't know. Sending his boats by this army and just letting them get attacked and die? It's not the wisest thing I've ever seen, but it looks like he really is trying to rejoin forces here. Group his units together. Yeah, orange versus red can be annoying. It's not so bad until there's a lot of units on the screen, and then it's difficult to see exactly who is who. So yeah, BacT in the blue now. And oh wow, cannon galleons out for TaToH. Elite cannon galleons. Elite! But coming out at a very awkward time. BacT seeing them, of course, finding one kill. And TaToH, if he can control the water and actually hit and run and do a lot of damage with the cannon galleons, then he can hit a lot of damage onto BacT. Take down the castle. He can find the TCs. He can maybe even find this monastery here if he comes in at the shoreline and prevent BacT from getting any gold from the relics. So definitely an interesting investment. I mean, obviously, cannon galleons are going to be very strong, but they have to be protected. At the moment, it doesn't really look like TaToH's in a position where he can really protect those galleons. And you might notice, if you have a look at the villager count, it was even. They were very close together, but what's happened is BacT now has deleted loads of villagers because, well, what does he need food for? Why does BacT need food? He doesn't. So he's got rid of his food gatherers. He doesn't need food now. he only needs food if he intends to make any units that cost food. And, well, he's already in the Imperial Age. He's already got all the upgrades he needs. He needs no food. So he's deleted about 20 villages. 20 villages. And what he's done in doing that has made room for 20 more military. So BacT now, with a larger military potential, I suppose, he's got a larger amount of boats that he can actually build due to the fact that he actually doesn't have any food income whatsoever. But BacT coming in with some rams, going to try and take down this castle. Maybe he'll succeed. On this right side, he is losing that fight, unfortunately for him. But that's because he's got some boats at the back as well, looking to find these docks down here. BacT is still with a military advantage, and he is still looking for all of the kills. TaToH, though, taking advantage of this push now to try and take this castle down. Kind of costly, though. Not only do the castles, of course, do serious damage to these boats, but he's going to be fighting against a pretty large army here as well. Down goes the cannon galleon. That's really expensive. A very expensive loss. And at the back of the map, BacT are going to take down these docks as well. The landing from BacT was not really too successful. I suppose he's prevented these villagers from gathering gold over here. But it's not like TaToH exactly needs that gold right now. He's got a lot of gold in the bank. What TaToH is currently sitting on, though, is a lot of resources. Resources that could be spent on boats if he had the population headroom. But he doesn't. He doesn't have that population headroom, and BacT does since he deleted those vills. So in this situation, BacT should start pulling a pretty big advantage now, as he just has the sheer numbers that he needs. Sneaky demo, unlikely to happen, I feel, at this stage. A demolition ship is not going to take down a galleon. A demolition ship has 110 attack. A galleon has 165 HP, so it's not going to take it down. And if a sneaky demo did come out, obviously it would get shut down very quickly as well. Looks like BacT going for another landing attempt, though. Another 10 rams potentially going across. What's that? There's 5 there, 6, 7, 8, 9 rams going over. That's going to be nice, because if TaToH cannot counter the rams, he's going to lose a huge amount of his eco. He's going to find a lot of his buildings burnt to the ground. Quick, delete all the units and build 200 demos, says Pixel Pies. Yeah, that wouldn't work, but maybe, I don't know, building 200 galleons would. Obviously, you would fuck yourself really, really badly if it didn't work, because you'd have no eco left, but, you know, who am I to judge that strat? Anyway, the landing's gone across, and it looks like BacT is going to go for the docks here. And that's pretty wise, actually. If he goes for the docks, he can stop TaToH reinforcing, which is going to be pretty huge. He's going to go for these siege workshops, probably, and just spread out, cause some trouble. Thing is, though, BacT, he's still ahead in military, but it really doesn't feel like he's really getting that advantage yet. I mean, at the back of the map, he's taking down some of these docks and such. But, I don't know, I think maybe a tipping point now for TaToH here, or for BacT here, as he starts falling behind, and he's got to start dealing with these rams back at home, and although he's just done siege ram himself, he has to deal with this still, and he's falling back on this right side. The whole cannon galleon thing didn't quite work out too well, and now he's losing his docks. He's going to lose the ability to reinforce. And BacT taking a few docks out at the back as well, which is pretty good for him. He should win this fight, to be honest with you. Cannon galleon's still out. Castle's still standing, though. 2 cannon galleons here in this mix, and they're going to go down. I think TaToH will lose this fight here, as BacT continues to reinforce very quickly. But no, BacT actually going to go back. I am clearly blind. There's way too many galleons there for BacT to take on. It's always hard to tell, though. Like I said, I mean, when units are patrolled, they get bunched up together really closely, and it's hard to really gauge the numbers at first glance. BacT, what's he doing, though? He's actually 65 military versus TaToH 66. TaToH's overtaken him once again. BacT now down to 156 pop, TaToH on 174. Both of them very, very low on wood. But TaToH with like this huge gold reserve. He's got 2,200 gold in the bank. I'm wondering where all that gold is coming from right now, and if BacT has any gold left on his side of the map. Well, not really. There's not really a lot of gold left for BacT to have. Whereas TaToH is still mining on this left-hand side. He's still mining on the front. So perhaps a little bit more gold on TaToH's side of the map. Perhaps a little better use of gold. And we should have a look at the KD in this situation. Because if you have a look, TaToH's lost a lot more units than he's killed as well. So the gold shortage for BacT here could be a real problem. And at the start of the map, I didn't really look in too much detail. But it looks like there may have been another extra gold pile on TaToH's side of the map. Now BacT is still sending those rams across, getting into a bit of a ram fight over here. TaToH's not really concerning himself with that too much. He's going to go ahead and bring down these castles now, and he's finally, after all this time, finally managed to take one out. TaToH might just get himself a win here at this rate, because BacT has got a bunch of idle boats back here. They both have the same number of military, and BacT potentially going to lose this fight on the right side once again. It's hard to say. Patrolling in, and BacT is going to have maybe an advantage there. The numbers, I can never tell you at first glance what the numbers are looking like. You let this number do the speaking down here. It looks like TaToH's really neck and neck. In fact, getting slightly ahead and then it's splitting back and forth. So they're both losing a lot of boats. They're both losing them at pretty much the same rate. So in actual fact, I think this is a very, very similar fight. But in comes BacT with another army from the right side. He's putting them to good use, and that is going to be a win for BacT right there, surely. Yet still 72 military each. TaToH now falling back because, well, he knows this fight is probably over. And once again, his boats on the left side out of position, not in a place where they can go and attack easily. And as we saw earlier on, TaToH losing a lot of docks. He's had to rebuild them, which is not really a problem, I guess. But still, geez, this is a pretty nuts fight right here. And BacT is starting to get the advantage. You want me to check the relics? Well, TaToH has 2, BacT has 3. So relics are in favor of BacT right now. Very much in favor of BacT. But oh my goodness me, this is not looking good for TaToH on the front. A lot of boats going down. He's really falling behind in this situation now. And, well, BacT is looking very, very strong. Samar Jam, just donated $5. He had hashtag support Zach. Imagine a life without his AoE 2 awesome cast. So thank you very much, Samar Jam. Much appreciated, man. Very much appreciated. Oh man. So, TaToH seems to have just lost everything here. Obviously, he's still got boats queued up. He's still got gold. He doesn't have a lot of wood though. But BacT are looking dominant on the front as he takes down these docks. His rams keep landing across and he kills villagers in these wood lines. But somehow still TaToH has a really similar number of boats, 77 versus 88. He knows at this stage as well it's not over yet. It's not over until the fat lady sings, and she has certainly not sung on this game yet. Architecture coming in for TaToH, and of course that's for extra building health and such. So that's kind of going to help him a little bit. Not going to help him like insanely, but it might help these rams kind of, you know, give him more time to deal with the rams, I guess. But still, I mean, really the water is where it's at. And at the moment, TaToH, again, trying to regroup his military after losing this fight on the front. But every time that TaToH seems to lose a fight, he does bounce back. He does keep getting back into it. And even though he keeps losing these docks time after time, he does keep finding a way back into the game. This is not a good fight here, though. Under the castle, gonna take a lot of damage and lose a bunch of ships right there as well. He's coming in on the right now, though, and TaToH needs to fight with his entire army, as does BacT. Both of them need to go together. Well, I guess BacT needs to go with all of his boats. And again, I think BacT might just win this fight, but he has just dipped below TaToH in military count. So, like I said, it's very up and down, very side to side, very over and under. It's all over the place. If both resign at exactly the same time, if both resigned at the same time, BacT would win. A little fun factlet for you there. Because BacT is player 1. Therefore, he would technically win the game if they both click the resign button at identical timing. Still, at this stage, there's one boat in it. There's one military in it. And even though they've both tried to get landings across, even though they've both tried to Look, they're still doing it. BacT still landing rams. It's just not really gotten him anywhere. That's gonna give him an advantage. He's not really taking down enough infrastructure to get him enough of an advantage that he can win. Both of them, by the way, are 100 villagers. BacT has 101 now. So, whether or not TaToH deleted some, I don't know. But the fact still remains, TaToH does have less villagers than BacT now. So, again, the potential for the army to be the same size is definitely there. And TaToH with 100 boats, BacT with 78. Is this what we've been waiting for? Is this the push? Well, I don't know. We'll have to find out in a minute. But BacT coming across, landing with a few villagers, looking to build a siege workshop. Of course he will. And TaToH now coming in with his train of rams to take this out, no doubt. This is going to be like an insane fight right here. There's no gold left for BacT. There's no real gold left for TaToH now. So whoever wins this one is going to be in a fantastic position, as the galley kind of reinforcement time is going to be slowed right down, since there's not enough gold income for either of them to keep making boats all day long. TaToH possibly going to win this fight. He has got the numbers advantage here. It seems like his entire navy is in one place for a change. And he might just get the win here. 74 versus 54 boats for TaToH. BacT, of course, going to try and reinforce, but with no gold, he can't realistically do that. He's got 10k wood in the bank. Maybe he could sell some for some gold. It looks like he probably is going down that route. In fact, if you have a look, TaToH sold 1,700 food and 800 wood, utilizing his market a little more than BacT has this game. But once again, it looks close. It still looks very close. And TaToH seemingly going to lose this fight somehow. How does that happen? Again, how does that happen? I don't know. But back he goes. Back he goes, and he's going to try and reinforce. TaToH dealing with the landing, though. Dealing with that landing. BacT dropping some light cavalry across there, and that's, of course, going to deal with these rams very quickly, which is strong. Very strong. But TaToH needs to push. He's got this huge galley advantage now. And if he can push this back, if he can fully take control of the water, if he can do that and stop BacT from getting back on the water, then it is GG. But he has to make the push at some point. He has to get those galleys together and do it. At the moment, obviously, he's trying to deal with this landing attempt. He's making spears now. His siege rams getting taken out by the light cavs. And still kind of just waiting for TaToH to attack with his galleons. Oh, there we go. He's coming down this right-hand side. Might even scare BacT away a little bit. BacT just building everything he can on this front side, though. He's got to keep this foothold on TaToH's island, because if he can do that, then TaToH has no choice but to push this back. And, you know, like I say, if TaToH wins the water, then if BacT has no resources, that's it. But if BacT has a good foothold here, then it doesn't matter if TaToH wins the water anymore, because TaToH is going to have to deal with losing his entire economy somehow, which is not going to be easy to do. He's grouping his galleons up together. It's been a pretty long game, actually. But grouping everything up together, whoa, I thought so. He should do that in a sec. I guess he's kind of focusing more on this landing. If he can push this back now, though, that would be pretty huge. And we got, what, a few more light cavalry trying to raid these villas, reducing TaToH's village count to 91, down from 101 a second ago. But he is winning this landing attempt, it seems, and I think this could be it. I think TaToH's on the home stretch now. It might not seem like it, but I think this is finally the home stretch for TaToH. If he cleans out this landing, then he wins the water, which he should do, given he has more galleys. Then it should be the home stretch. It should be home and dry. But who am I to talk? Because this game has been very back and forth. The first game we saw was very back and forth, and TaToH is giving BacT a very, very good run for his money. Gold-wise, there's no gold really for BacT. He's got nothing coming out of these docks at the moment. And although, yes, he has got one extra relic, TaToH, I think now finally taken all of his gold. So maybe now Bad Geofro will maybe pull ahead in gold count a little bit. I don't know. Bad Geofro with 14k wood, he could go ahead and sell all of it. Well, not all of it, but a lot of it. Might be worthwhile for him to do that, in fact, just get a bit more gold. TaToH seems so indecisive. It's like he wants to go and attack, but then he doesn't. He's got so many galleons out here. He's almost got double the military. Almost double the military of Bad Geofro. So he's got to go for it. TaToH now, obviously he sees these buildings here. He could go and take them out. There's absolutely no military from Bad Geofro on his side of the map. There we go. He's moving in. He's going to try and take them out before any units can come out, I suppose. With siege rams, it should be possible. But still, he seems so indecisive. He's like, I'm going to attack eventually. Just let my opponent get a few more boats out first. Nah, that's not the way to do it, is it? You got to attack when you've got the advantage. And I guess he doesn't know that, but certainly worth attacking at this stage. Down go the buildings, though, and the rams being attacked by some light cavalry. But hey, the spearmen are there. They're ready and waiting. They're sorting out. I'm just amazed that Bad Geofro has managed to keep that alive there, keep that going. This landing attempt has been so strong, but finally looks like it's going to get dealt with. I say that, he's still making more buildings. Bad Geofro is the definition of persistent, I suppose. But TaToH, yeah, 100 military, Bad Geofro at 58. Surely if he just pushes now on the front, he can win this water fight, he can win the game. Maybe it's not as simple as that, but it should be a case now of him winning the water and pushing this landing away. He's going to find villagers in the wood line at the back. And I think neither of them really feel like they have enough of an advantage to call GG yet. Which I suppose makes sense. But still, the landing should now be sorted out. And TaToH can really focus on the water once again. But with Bad Geofro having one extra relic, it does mean that TaToH has to be faster rather than slower when it comes to attacking, because TaToH has to win before Bad Geofro can get enough buildings out. Oh wow, another landing of rams. Oh my goodness me. Bad Geofro with another 5 going across, just gonna casually bring down a castle very quickly. Unreal. Like, he's just ridiculous. He is. He's still building. He's still building a goddamn stable right here. It's nuts. It's absolutely crazy. But hey, TaToH gonna try and stop this castle going down here, I suppose. And Bad Geofro is just being so annoying right now, I guess, to TaToH. Both of them in decline. I mean, both of them losing a lot of vills. Both of them exactly on 87 now. But still TaToH with this huge military advantage. Push, TaToH, push! Sounds like I'm at his birth. Not his birth, at his, or whatever. Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to go any further with that one. But he's got it. He's doing it. He's finally pushing. You can do it, TaToH. We believe in you. This castle here, it's a goner, I think. But the water, surely for TaToH now, has to be won. And if he wins it, that's a clear message to BacT that he's got to lose this one. Yeah. It is a long game, to say the least. It is a long game. But it's certainly been an interesting one. TaToH needs to go. I mean, surely, from his point of view, he can see he has more boats here. Surely he can see that. He has to see that. Okay, so Bad Geofro, he's going to go ahead and attack here on the left side. He's going to go ahead and lose that fight. Exactly double the military population for TaToH now. And TaToH's gone and landed across here. Pikemen coming out all over the place. TaToH with very little wood left, but with pikes, he can certainly deal with the light cavalry and push this forwards. Siege Workshop, good stuff. Has he won the water now? Yeah, probably. Elite Skirmisher coming out for BacT though. Thumb Ring coming up. And for TaToH, he can only do pikes. He's got no gold for anything else. He can't do kind of like the champion line, even though they're cheap. He can't do that. He's got so little wood though. He's gonna struggle, I think, getting enough resource here. But hey, with all these boats, with the water now probably under his control, TaToH should be doing good. Still double the military of BacT, and this landing certainly looks a lot firmer, to say the least. It looks like this landing could last. It looks like this one could be the one. I've been really optimistic about this, about TaToH winning this game. I mean, to me, I've seen him winning this game for a while now. But it looks like he's finally going to be able to pull it off. On the right-hand side. finally finishing it off. Scouts coming out, why not? He's got some food. It's insane to see TaToH's resources so low at this stage of the game. Siege rams coming out and boats coming over as well. BacT here coming around the back to try and deal with this with some of his own boats, I suppose. There you go, Elite Skirm though, and this is the problem here for BacT, or for TaToH rather. Elite Skirm's gonna deal with his pikes pretty quickly, so TaToH needs, oh, if he just goes pure pikes, it's not gonna end too well for him. This could be the ultimate draw right here, at this rate. TaToH's got 100 wood left. Has he got wood on his side of the map? Well, a little bit. He really doesn't have much wood even available to him. He has got some farms. Once that wood is gone, it is gone. There is some here that he could still take, I suppose. Yeah, he's going to keep pushing BacT away on the water, but he will lose this landing here, it seems. Oh, man. It's so difficult for him to really get a foothold and win. This is not GG. No, it's not GG. Not yet. What if they never GG? What if neither of them admit defeat? Well, it's a stalemate, and then we have to toss for the winner, I guess. Or we rematch, but I don't think we have time for that today. TaToH's still landing, though. He's still light cavalry now on the way, and I think light cavalry going to be the way to win this, I think. Scrap the pikes, man. Just get the light cavs. He's got more food, so he can obviously afford to do light cavalry a lot easier. He's also got upgrades. I believe he's done +2 defense. I think I'm right on that. I think he's done +2. I might be wrong, but we'll see. And, oh yeah, nice one. Baiting the light cavalry into the ships. That's a good way to kill your enemy. Let the ships do the talking. Rams here, light cavalry coming out, and TaToH's delaying, he's holding. It's like that moment in Braveheart where they're like, hold, 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 and then he's going to release them all at the last second. Using his ships, of course, to kill as many units as possible. There they go. +2/+2. So yeah, he has got those upgrades done. And now he can maybe push this back. BacT, meanwhile, what's he doing with his boats? Not a lot. What's he doing with everything? I don't know, not a lot. The light cavalry coming in, they're going to take this hill, they should clean this army up, and surely this is now the GG. Well, TaToH getting Blast Furnace for +4 attack. BacT falling back, stables coming up, as many stables as he can, but overwhelmed by the number of light cavalry here. And TaToH still has over double the army, so well played by him, and well, the resources are out. I mean, he's really got nothing left back at home. He's making what he can make, and that's it. Unfortunately, no more Siege Workshop, but this TC looks like it's about to fall. The light cavalry here are going to be absolutely dominating these skirms from BacT. And TaToH's just going to push this all the way home to a victory, it seems now. Idle villagers ahoy. 43 idols for BacT at the moment. So even though there's less villagers out for TaToH, at least he has more working at this stage. He might clean up this army as well here. He's got enough boats out, it seems. Pikeman coming in for BacT. He's unwilling to give this up just yet. He thinks, I've got enough resources in the bank. He thinks, yes, I can still do this, but it's going to be a tough one. Pikes now coming out. And, well, TaToH's going to have to be quick before there's too many pikes out here, because he can't switch away from this unless he does pikes himself, which is not going to work out too well. Light cavalry overpowering BacT for the first time in a while here. BacT seems to have lost the score lead as well, and I think it is time to finish Gwarg. I think it is time for Wallow GG, Pixel Pies. It's got to come in any minute now, you would assume. But judging by the way this game has gone so far, maybe we assumed wrong, because BacT is still pushing. He's still pushing this back, and he might end up winning this fight. Now, obviously, he's pretty out-teched. He's behind in upgrades here. So TaToH should get the win on upgrades alone. TaToH's got 350 food left. He's got no food. He's queued everything he can at these stables. He's going to try and just overwhelm BacT in sheer numbers, and maybe it's working out. He's winning on the water. BacT down to 114 population. TaToH at 164. He's taking down these docks. I don't know if BacT is still making boats. No, he's not. So risky stuff right there, and TaToH's still winning on the front here, and I think it's time to call it. I think it's time to call Wallow GG. It has to be the end game now for BacT. But I've been saying this for the last 25, 30 minutes of game time. And yet it is still not the end for BacT. He is still holding on. And maybe he'll get back into action as well in a minute. We'll see. The siege ram here, of course, going to be able to bring down some buildings. And TaToH, I think, is right. I think for BacT here is... He's not got the water control, but he's got a landing again. He's just so persistent. And with 14,000 wood, I mean, he's just going to go ahead and try and land. Will he get away with it? Probably not. There's some pikes here. They're pretty low on health, but siege ram coming in. He's just going to try and counter land. BacT is a funny player. The KD, yeah, incredibly even. BacT with 752 kills and 741 losses. There's like 9 kills in it, 10 kills in it. How could it be possible for it to be this close? Yet it is. This landing from BacT, though, looks like it's going to fail. It does not look like it's going to be successful at all. The ram is here, the pikes are here, they can kill these villagers. But BacT with enough units back at home, he can defend from TaToH as well. So, where are we going now? Where does this go? Well, the thing is here, if BacT fails this landing, then TaToH will be able to hold him away from his island, in theory. He should, since he has the water control and more boats and just everything, he should be able to stop a landing going over. BacT though, I mean, since he just completed another landing, or failed the landing, but he still got it there, maybe he's thinking, oh, I could try another landing. You just keep trying to land over and over and over and over. BacT has this big land army, TaToH has a big water army. But surely now BacT has to realize that if he can't win the water, he can't win the game. There's no possible way. But maybe he's thinking, hey, you know what? TaToH can come to me. I've got my army here. We'll be ready to go. Whenever TaToH, you decide to turn up and attack me, we'll be ready to go. And until then, I will let you have the water control. Well, I kind of think that's the wrong way to go about it. At the moment, though, TaToH going to try and take this castle down. He cannot afford to lose this cannon galleon. This is so expensive to him. This means so much to him, this cannon galleon. If he takes the castle, then he can win this army, win this fight here, and kill that army. He's taking the wood on BacT's side of the map, so good for him. And he's still making a lot of light cavalry at the moment. No siege from BacT. So I think BacT has to realize when it's over, and it's pretty over at the moment. So BacT though gonna kill this. Oh no, not the cannon galleon! Anything but the cannon galleon. Okay, it's gonna get away. It seems with 24 health. Jeez, that was a bit close though, wasn't it? A little bit close for comfort. Light cavalry coming in on the left side, looking maybe for some villager kills. I mean, really, TaToH's not going to fight or be able to win this army. Or beat this army, sorry. What am I talking about? He's not going to be able to win the army. No. Oh, wow. Like, I like that. This is how desperate, this is how close the... That's how close the game is at this stage. TaToH is repairing his cannon galleon with a villager, because he can't afford another one right now. Resources, yes. Selling wood and food is 14 gold a pop, and they've got no stone left either. In fact, both of these guys have probably sold stone as well. 900 stone has been sold from BacT at this moment in time. TaToH has overall used the market the most, and probably got the most from it as well. But BacT with a larger military than TaToH right now, which is kind of hard to believe, isn't it? But if his units get marooned on his island, then you could argue that, well, with cannon galleons in time, TaToH will win the game. Has BacT got possibilities? The only possibility that BacT has is in landing. If he lands successfully and actually destroys TaToH's economy, then BacT can win. But at this stage in the game, if TaToH takes down his castle, then he's won, in my opinion, because he can basically stop BacT from ever landing him, and then with the cannon galleons, like I say, he can basically kill everything on BacT's island. Might take him a few years in real time. It might take him a few years, but if he wins the water, he's got to have won the game. BacT right now still making galleons, and yeah, 165 population for both of them. It's neck and neck. On the water, though, that's a whole different story. BacT has got 30 warships, TaToH has got 72. So there's a very large difference there. And of course, as we know, BacT can't win if he doesn't have the water. TaToH could do a lot of damage from the water. In fact, look at this. TaToH with a lot of light cavalry still queued up. Just take the castle down, man. Take it down. BacT with 0 stone, so the castle is a goner now. Unless he can fight this army, which he can't. Really? There's just too many there. Too many boats for BacT to fight. Well, he's going to try it maybe. But yeah, the castle will fall now unless BacT buys some resources and tries to repair, but he realizes he can't repair. TaToH's going to be baiting these boats away. And he's like, haha, no. This guy's a little bit of banter. I think you need that after an hour and 38 of game time. Castle, surely it's on the way down now. This has to be it. Down it goes. 600 health remaining. 300 health. 4, 3, 2, 1. Down it goes. And that's got to be GG right there, surely. For TaToH now, all he has to do is beat this army. He's bringing over his light cavs. He's going to try and raid the eco once again, it seems. I'm not really seeing the point in raiding economy at this stage of the game, to be honest with you. But BacT still doesn't want to resign. The population's way ahead for TaToH now. Potato Tato, whatever his name is. Whatever you want to call him. People saying, what? I need to educate the audience on who these players are? Well, TaToH is from, I almost said China then. That's completely off the mark. TaToH's from Spain. He's known as TaToH on AOC Zone. He's been around for a long time. But I think he's made a name for himself on his TaToH name for sure. BacT has been around for a long, long while as well. He's part of the Tyrant team, and he is obviously from, by the flag, Vietnam. He's obviously a very, very good player, and he's taken part in pretty much every major tournament in the last 3 years, I think. Doing very well in pretty much all of them. Anyway, TaToH now with that water control, but BacT is still hanging in there. He's still got these boats at the back. Goodness me. Must be getting quite late in Vietnam right now as well. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, is BacT going to be able to finish these games today? Who knows? But yeah, the dock's going to go down, of course. The boat's going to kill everything from the shoreline. BacT may be looking for another angle of attack. I'm unsure. Really zero wood left for TaToH now. I mean, there's nothing on his side of the map. There is no wood left on his side of the map. Nothing. Absolutely nada. Nothing. He's taking the wood from BacT's side. And now there is no wood on BacT's side of the map either. There's like a few cut trees here or there. So BacT with 8,000 wood, maybe he feels like, yeah, I can get back on the water. No problem. I got enough wood for that. Maybe. But honestly, do I really think right now that BacT is going to be able to pull this one back? Oh, I really don't see it, but who knows? He's not got any docks, so he's tried to rebuild a couple here. But 0 docks on Team Islands, still fighting on the land though, and I don't know what his thoughts are on this. Obviously he's going to keep winning it time after time against these light cavalry since he's got pikes against light cavs. But I don't know, maybe he's thinking he can get something with these galleons here. Maybe he's thinking he can secure a landing attempt. No landing attempt seems to be in sight though. People getting a little frustrated now. I don't blame them. I think BacT does need to call GG. He is prolonging this game. But, you know, I kind of see why. You know, he's still winning on the land. And I just don't think that's enough, though, do you? Elite cannon galleons here. Looking for some more kills, I suppose. I mean, what's BacT's food income looking like right now? Well, he's got idle 11 villagers. He's got 35 villagers in total, 11 of which are idle. Not the most ideal situation. And TaToH now gonna maybe find this army in the corner of the map. I mean, BacT is hiding. What is this? What's he doing? He's hiding with his galleys. They've got to get cornered. They're gonna die, surely. Surely they're gonna die right now. He's lost his docks again. He's got no docks at all. His army's in the corner of the map. They're gonna die. BacT, this is GG. Call it, man. It's on you. But per set of games won, these guys will earn $18 as part of the prize pool, and then the top 3 will get a bonus on top of that for coming in the placement position. But oh gosh, here we go. TaToH will win this fight. BacT will lose the water entirely. He will lose all of his docks entirely. And now he's laughing. This is it, BacT. This is where you call GG, and you know it. He's said 11 in the chat, so we're waiting. It would be kind of BM of TaToH to be like, well, you're going to call it then. But there you go. The last galley is down. BacT now down to 100 population. He's surrounded by boats. He's got no docks. He's got no galleons. He's got a land army on a water map. And surely now he's thinking, well, the last tree has been chopped. The last farm has been farmed, pretty much. The only way I can win this now is if I retake the water. And he's gonna fucking go and build some docks down here. You're kidding me. BacT does not want this game to end. Never in a million years. TaToH, though, surely will see this dock here. He should spot that if he sees these two galleons. He's like, right, nope. You are not building these docks right here. You are not doing this. Man. Well, BacT is still trying. What's he doing here? Nothing. I mean, even if he makes a galleon, it's not going to be enough to get this back now. Obviously, for BacT, $18 is quite a lot of money, I suppose. In Vietnam, I think $18 can go quite a long way. And obviously, you know, the overall prize pool is $2,500. It's not a huge, huge prize, but is it surprising? I mean, it's a community-funded event, and I think it's awesome that we've even managed to get that much. SearchEngineRevs.com sponsored $1,000, which is insane. So yeah, I mean, obviously, we know it's not on the same level of some esports, but I think we're doing just fine anyway. BacT's still trying to get those docks up. He's flailing around right now with his arms in the air, and he's probably pissed off because he's got 1,000 gold. And if you've got 1,000 gold, that's generally quite a lot of gold. There's quite a lot of resources right there. But no, it's not enough BacT. The gold on its own is not enough. He has been bested this game. He's fighting down uphill against the light caps. He calling it. He called it, guys. It happened. He called GG, and BacT will finally lose game number 2. My goodness me. Wow. That game took so long. Almost 1 hour and 50 game time there. Well done to TaToH. I didn't see him winning that game for a long time, but the comeback was there. The back and forth was there the entire time. And BacT is finally calling it after losing the water, after losing probably this land aggression as well. Took some time, didn't it? It really took his time with that one, but well played to TaToH right there. And I really, really need to take a break right now because I have to go to the toilet because that was a long one.